We're going to move on to Libra. So Libra, Saturn's in your sixth house of health, and work and community and pets. So, your dad, I mean, it might be your dad's house. Suddenly you're more responsible for your father or an old elder. It could be an elder in general that you're having to take care of. So this can be affecting your work and your routine. Also, you may find that your old relationships are just feeling old and tired. And yeah, I'm at the end of it and I can't do this anymore. So it may be a major, like really facing yourself and going, is this relationship really feeding me emotionally, spiritually? What am I getting out of this? Have I bought into this illusion, this projection? Like, because Saturn is going to pop those illusions, which I think is a good thing, which can be hard, especially if there's family involved or children. But, you have to face that hard, cold reality to really get what you want. I mean, Saturn can also give you discipline in terms of your diet, your eating, your work, your routine, changing your work. I mean, Saturn is the limits, the boundaries. It's like, no, I don't want to do that same old anymore. I want to do something where I'm giving back, where my job has more meaning, where I feel like I'm really helping community, or, in some ways it feels more rewarding, not just financially or on the surface, but more deeply emotionally. Also using dream work and imagination to heal yourself, to find balance, really understanding, because Libra's still an air sign, you know what I mean? They need to incorporate the more emotional side. It could be a big spiritual initiation, or really walking a new path, or taking some new vows to yourself, actually. Again, that kind of sacred marriage within is also something else very important. You may want to give to some charities, again, all of that kind of thing. But I think this is a good thing. So you're really going to be reconsidering what the value of your work is, I think. And it's going to have to be something that's, Libras get accused of being superficial these days, something that's more spiritually and emotionally rewarding, and just to balance you out. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater necessarily, but just something that's a bit more balanced and has more depth. Pisces is depth.
Yeah, I see movement, change in the home, stability, security, maybe people moving into the space or moving out. That makes it more of that. I see, really focusing on long-term stability,
Mm-hmm.
long-term security in terms of where you live, where you're going to live.
Mm-hmm.
I see that being a focus. And I see you putting action to it, maybe action that you haven't completely given it. You're going to give it all, your all, for real, and you're going to go in one direction, or you're going to fix the direction. Like if you don't move, you will make what you're living in feel like you moved.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
there will be a change there, a big enough change to make you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that, so I'm saying that there will be Libras that will move, but there are even more Libras who will improve their living circumstances. So renovations, having new people move in, maybe getting rid of certain people, this whole thing, and changing what's happening in the home environment so that you have a more harmonious, playful place. That's, people in your space that you like being around. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to be really important. And the Lover's card is really close by. This is, and like you said about a sacred inner marriage, one with yourself, right? And that's an important thing. This is also about others.
Mm-hmm.
So, we can also, it's, sometimes it's your relationship with your faith as well. What you put your passion and your heart into. And
Mm-hmm.
depending on where that card shows up, it's a combination of all three. Who you love in, why you love in, are you loving you all at the same time?
Right.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and, who's your faith keeper? Who do you check in with when when there's a problem in your relationship? So, that could be a counselor, it could be your gods, it could be your own self kicking your own butt. Right.
Right.
But what it is doing is making sure you're coming from a sacred place,
Yeah.
a loving, sacred, passionate place.
Right.
So there's no room for the opposite of this, which is the devil card.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? No room for that nonsense here. This is a total upgrade from the devil,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is
Well,
good. This is kind of like facing that Saturn energy with the lovers,
right. Which
right?
is nice. Yeah.
So I
Also,
like that.
yeah, I
Sorry.
mean, Saturn in Pisces is almost like the devil gets spiritualized or the
Right?
devil gets baptized because
I
Pisces is
love that.
ultimately the big spiritual baptism. So maybe the devil gets washed out, hung on the line. Um, we're just kind of riffing off this right now. But also, when you talk about Libra, because Libra is very much about beautifying their environment. So living in a much more spiritual and uplifting environment that
Yeah.
raises your vibration. I think that's really important, and also in their work, because they often work in social situations or social media. So again, that kind of deeper intrinsic emotional,
Mhm.
spiritual values to things
Mhm.
in advertising and everything. More transparency. I like the idea of the devil getting baptized. And Libra, I got the tower in mind, so that's definitely the big wake up, call, where everything shifts, and everything changes there, which is a good thing. It's an epiphany. I like to think
Well,
about the tower
yeah,
as an epiphany.
I agree with you, Tara. I think that Libra's about to have a very big shakedown, and maybe they'll be facing death, change. But I promise you, all of those things are coming to make a much better future. And I do see a much more secure future coming because of all of the hardship. No kidding. And I know you guys have been sort of towing the line lately and focusing a lot on what isn't,
Mhm.
what coulda, shoulda, woulda, as opposed to what is good. And I'm being told to tell you to, be cautious of that mindset. Be cautious. Spirit wants some acknowledgement for what is good. Otherwise, if all you see is the negative, that is all you'll get to see. So I
Mhm.
think that resonates with a lot of you at this time, and that's what. And something already happened. That Tower card already showed up.
Right,
That Tower card smacked them already.
right. They
So
have to
now they're like,
integrate it. It's like it's got to filter down, kind of.
yeah. Now they got to pick the rubble up, and those beautiful rubies that they find in the rubble are going to be taken into the following days. And what doesn't serve your highest good, what you don't love, what dominates you, what you don't feel a passionate connection to, say la vie.
Mhm. Yeah, goodbye.
Yeah, yeah.
That's boundaries. That's Saturn. It's like, nope, goodbye,
Hmm.
done. You know,
Hmm.
so that could be a good thing too, right?
I think it is in this case for the Libra. And I think, and Libra, what I like about Libra is when they get to a point, they're done, they're done.
Mhm.
And they can step it up. I think Libra has been. I think COVID really toppled Libra over a little bit. I'm going to say that
Right.
it did it for a lot of signs, but I think Libra, especially because they're usually
Yeah.
so calm and cool and collective,
Right.
this was chaos, and they were like, "What do I
Well, and
do with
they
that?"
need to relate to others. So being forced to
Yeah,
be separated was really hard. I mean, there's social media, but it's not the same.
yeah,
It, so I think, yeah,
yeah.
that's hard for them for sure.
Yeah, I think so. So I think that all of that is culminating into a new beginning, where something in their home environment will change way much for the better.
Right. And I
So,
think, people are afraid of change, but really the name of the game is always change. And if you're not changing, you're not growing, you're not alive.
well,
And
if you think about what they've been holding on to,
yeah,
they might as well have a change,
yeah, for sure. It's only going to be better. Like people
right?
think that change is like something's going to be worse, but change brings better things. You
Blue
know,
Mountain says, Blue Mountain Star, Morning Star says, I enjoy being a hermit.
okay, that's great. More power to you.
Yeah, yeah. But even as a hermit, you'll be visited by many who need your help for their
Yeah.
mental health. So, you that's the thing about the hermit is also is called to help the community as a wisdom keeper, right?
Hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And the hermit's very protective. I find the hermit energy to be very protective. Yeah.
If